I'd like to join with others in paying tribute to the late Jim Stynes, a sporting hero, an Irish hero and a great Dubliner. And I'm sure that the thoughts and sympathy and solidarity of these houses are with his family at what has to be a very difficult time for them. Tánaiste, there's 10 days left and just over 80% of households have not paid the household charge. I think it's fair to say that your government's handling of this issue has been shambolic. I think it's also fair to say that your desperation is evident from the increasingly shrill tone of ministers trying to frighten citizens into paying this charge. I put it to you that you should stop trying to bully the electorate and try listening to them for a change. And the reality is that on this issue, just as with the deaf schools, you have got it wrong. And you know, it's not simply a matter of the handling of the issue. What people do know is that the household charge is unfair and it's unjust and that it should be withdrawn. The trade unions have been clear on this, SIP2 Unite, the CPSU, the Dublin Council of Trade Unions, all calling for this tax to be scrapped. So will you and the government now face facts? And tell me, do you really intend to bring hundreds of thousands of citizens before the courts on this issue, particularly when not a single banker has been jailed for causing the crisis that we're in? It's not a case of extending the deadline. It's not a controversy over whether or not the charge can be paid in a local post office. Will you accept, Tánaiste, that this unfair, unjust charge has failed and that it should be scrapped?
Thank you. Tánaiste.
No, the charge will not be scrapped. The charge will be replaced by a property tax, and the preparatory work for the introduction of a property tax is underway. And I look forward to hearing from you, Deputy, what are the Sinn Féin proposals in relation to a property tax. That would certainly be very helpful in the discussions that we're having. This government is not in the business of bullying anybody. But we do want to be straight with people, and I think that Deputy McDonald, yourself, your party and others who are campaigning against this charge should also be straight with people. There is no point in misleading people into believing that the charge will not have to be paid, or that the charge will be wished away, or that it will be vanished in some kind of way. Households are required to pay the charge. There are penalties and interest charges, which are the normal type of penalties and interest charges that apply to unpaid taxes that will apply to this charge if it is not paid. And people who are advising, like your party, Deputy McDonald, who are encouraging people not to pay it, are simply misleading people into a situation whereby they will be increasing household debt. That's not fair on the households concerned. By all means, it's fair enough for people to adopt a political position opposing the charge. That's fair enough, and oppose it here in the House and so on. But to go to the extent that you're going and that others are going to, which is encouraging people and advising people not to pay it, that's misleading people, and that's going to land people, households, in greater debt than they should be in.
Deputy McDonald, please. Deputy McDonald,
Tánaiste, far from misleading people on any of those matters, we've been very clear in saying that you do intend to levy this tax and that you will pursue people for fines and penalties. We also understand from you that you'll introduce amending legislation to coerce the public into payment of those penalties by attachment orders to their wages or their welfare payments. So the honest thing to say is this, Tánaiste: there are people out there who simply do not have the €100 to pay the charge. There are others out there who will not pay it because they view it, quite correctly, as a flat and unjust tax. It's also the honest thing to say, Tánaiste, that you stand over something that you know full well in your gut is unfair. It has been shambolically delivered. People have responded accordingly, and it strikes me that the sensible and the equitable thing to do at this juncture is to admit your mistake, as you have done before, and to withdraw this charge and the threats that you will pursue people, whether through the courts or whether via attachment orders. That would be the stuff of honesty, Tánaiste.